Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Producers Nation Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made to help agents become top producers in their desired market, as well to help team leaders and brokers develop top producers in their desired markets as well. We are powered on the local level by the Tampa Bay Real Producers franchise here in Tampa Bay. We're hanging out in our studio as we speak on the corner of Kennedy and West Shore, and we feature the top 500 producing agents in the Tampa Bay market within that platform. One of those agents is here in studio with us today. That's Stacy Allen. Stacy was featured in our April 2025 issue of Tampa Bay Real Producers, so feel free to check that out online if you haven't already seen it. But Stacy, it's good to have you in studio. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here, for sure.
A little chilly today.
It feels good though, right? It does feel nice. It's a little bit unlike normal Tampa weather. So I got to wear the sweater today, something a little bit different.
Yep.
You pull out some stuff you don't normally get to wear in the wardrobe department. So.
And I like the change. It's nice to have the reprieve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stacy, as obviously a top 500 agent, that's why she was featured in Tampa Bay Real Producers. She's with Keller Williams. Most of the work that you do is St. Pete area. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Pinellas County.
Pinellas, St. Pete. Okay,
yep,
cool.
Yep.
All right. Let's start a little bit with your background. So did you grow up here? How'd you get to St. Pete area? If not, how did you end up getting here and then enjoying and getting into real estate?
So I started in real estate in Georgia, and I'm still with Keller Williams in Georgia.
Yep.
And came down here thinking about getting like a second home, retirement home, and then fell in love with it and moved here permanently, but I still go to Georgia quite a bit.
Okay.
And
what part of Georgia?
like North Atlanta, Lake Lanier area.
Sure.
So
did you grow up there?
No, but I was there for 30 years.
Okay, so you spent a good amount of time.
Houston, then I lived there for about 30 years.
Okay. What brought you to Tampa?
Like I said, I was looking for a second home. I wasn't even thinking about like moving here.
Yeah.
And then when I fell in love with the place, I was like, oh my gosh.
There's a lot to love.
It's yeah, I love it here.
Yep.
So we live in paradise, and still like Georgia, of course, but it's really home here.
Do you still have a place up there as well?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Do you spend most of your time, is it pretty 50-50 back and forth, or most of it down here?
Most of the time here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I go up there quite a bit. I would say it might be on an average of once a month, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah.
About 12 times a year, maybe 10 times a year. But
so you were working, was it KW up in Georgia at the time?
Yes.
And then when you came down here, it was just a natural transition to pick up, obviously, with a different KW brokerage down here in this area. Okay.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you? Did you have any connections or network down here when you first got down? So you had to build it from scratch, huh?
Nobody knew Stacy Allen.
Okay.
So I'm still, of course, getting the word out.
What year was it that you came down here?
8 years. Actually, this year will be 9 years. I moved here in 17.
Got it.
So
walk us through that first year, because it's not normal for some people to have success when they go into a new market in their first year. Do you remember what that first year was like for you? Would you have called it a success? What did it look like for you?
Absolutely not. Not at all. I still was doing all my business in Georgia.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if I was going to stay here, so I wasn't really working on my business.
Okay.
So I don't even count my first year here, just because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay.
Yeah.
And then after about 10 months, I was like, oh, I love it here.
Okay.
So then I'm like, oh dear.
Then you got serious.
Then I started hustling.
Okay.
So then I hustled, and then I started, slowly but surely growing my business here.
Has it grown like that way, pretty much just year by year, some consistent growth over time?
Yeah.
I know you did, over 13 million last year, 20-something transactions in that area.
Yep.
Walk us through like what that hustle looked like for you. What are some of the favorite ways that you kind of got out there, built your name, built your brand? How did you network? What has worked for you?
Meeting people.
Yeah.
And I'm a tennis player. I'm a social person. I like to go out. I'm a boater. I just sold my boat last year, but I've had 2 boats since I've been here. Mm-hmm. Tennis, social, and then about 5 years ago, I'd have to really think hard. 5 or 6 years ago, I was cold calling. That's all I did. I mean, I would do like 4,400
Not afraid
calls.
to pick up the phone, huh?
I had to, or I had to go get a job and or move back to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just had to do what I had to do. So tons of open houses. I did 2 open houses Saturday and Sunday. So I did 4 open houses on the weekend. Mm-hmm. And then I made cold calls during the week.
Were you calling like expireds, or what was it? Was there a category?
I even bought zip codes just to call people out of the blue.
Really?
Out of the blue.
Wow.
So it was probably 6 or 7 years that I was doing that. And that slowly built my business. Then I started, meeting people and getting in social circles and stuff like that.
Totally. No, it makes sense. What percentage of your business today is like referral based, would you say? or relying on past clients?
I would say, I just did my numbers for last year. I would say that's about 70% referrals.
So it's pretty high.
Yeah.
And that is that first time purchasers, like first time referral, first generation, or are you talking about like past clients?
Over and over.
Yeah.
I have a listing right now that I've done probably 4 transactions with.
Got it.
I have another listing or something under contract in Georgia. I've done, 5 or 6 transactions, so it's just the repeat, clients that I have. Very, very blessed for both states for that.
Yeah. No, it's powerful. And I know you touched on probably one of the more core truths of any successful realtor is to just like tap into your network, wherever your passions are for you, tennis and boating.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
and
what you
obviously
enjoy.
The thing that's nice about real estate is it's one of those things that's universal to everybody, right? Everybody has a need for it in some capacity if you're serving the community that you actually are involved with. Is it true what they say, by the way, about selling a boat, that's the best day of your life after second best day of buying it?
It is, but I've had 13. That's right. And I don't have one right now, but I'm going to get another one.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, "Are you going to get another one?" I'm like, "I'm sure."
That's a lot of best days of your life.
It's a lot of best. I got to keep those best days coming. I mean, that's the only way. Apparently, I'm joking.
Where do you guys like to boat? Or mostly just the Bay Area, or do you guys take longer excursions?
That's what I want to do is longer excursions.
Okay.
I have done that. But yeah, kind of like the loop. I call it the big loop, going to Clearwater because I'm in St. Pete Beach. So Clearwater all the way down,
sure.
And going out the inlets and stuff like that.
Yep.
Going to some of the islands, which is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And just
there's a lot to be excursioning for around this area, right? There's a lot of things to boat for. It could be a boater's paradise, I guess, for people that are into that.
Paradise.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Well, when I lived in Georgia, I lived on Lake Lanier, so I felt landlocked.
Okay.
So that's why kind of like it was another intriguing part to move here is because a bigger boat, where you can take longer excursions. I mean, you can go down to Key West.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Totally.
Yeah.
How far would that take in typical, not like a professional cruise, like, typical boat?
So the boat that I just sold was a Grady White. We Ubered down to Naples and got it, drove it up to St. Pete Beach. And I believe, if I recall correctly, it took like 4 hours, but we went fast.
Okay. To go from Naples to St. Pete Beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was 4 hours. I don't think it was 4 or 5 hours. I can't remember. It's been, I had it for like 4 years, so I don't recall. But we just hauled butt, and we just got all the way up there.
Right.
Which is fine.
But then to get all the way to Key West or the Keys would be a whole other
You would
excursion.
have to do stops, and we've done that on one of my friend's boat. We did a couple stops to get all the way down to Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I think we stayed at one place, like in Venice, and did that. So you can do it where, you stop at a couple cities and then like stay the night and then just keep on going.
That's neat.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
That. Yeah.
You could even make some money from that if you wanted to charge people for little excursion trips with you guys, right?
I got my captain's license.
Oh, you do?
That's why I did that.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. Not that I have done it, and I'm not going to, but I like the education.
So tell us a little bit about the types of clients that you've served and what you've learned as far as that. Do you find that there is a particular type of demographic at all or audience that is a sweet spot for you, or is it pretty all over the map?
So it used to be all over the map, and then last year when we all flooded, I will say that I do a lot in my town, the St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island area. And with the floods and still people being damaged, I've done a lot of damaged, properties and or rehabbed, and then we sell them afterwards.
Okay.
So right now, I do hyper focus on my zip code 33706, which is that Treasure Island, St. Pete Beach.
Yep.
And it's not only do I live there, I'm part of the community, and I know what we all went through because I flooded as well. So it's been a learning curve, and we're all kind of getting through it.
How has that process been going for you personally and your clients as well?
Personally, it was tough. Probably the first 7 months, it was tough.
Yeah.
Tough for business and for me and for living, and I was displaced. Made me learn
Uplifts your whole life, yeah.
Yeah. Lost a lot of things like we all did. But you know what's really the positive thing is my clients and my friends and my neighbors are now like, you know what? My house is even better than it was. So there is a positive.
There's always a light at the end of the rainbow there, right?
There is.
At the end of the tunnel, I guess, is the way you should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough, and we all still are, we still have a little PTSD. Of course, this season was nothing, which was great.
Thank God.
And let's just kind of keep on thinking about that.
Right.
Or, hoping for that.
Right.
But it's taught me a lot. Put me a little closer to, my municipal and more involved in St. Pete Beach.
Yeah.
in the rules and figuring things out. So, there's always, positives.
How do you feel like the community as a whole has recovered since the storms out there? Do you think it's pretty much back to normal at this point? Still not really though, right? Yeah.
No, we still have a lot of people not in their homes. We still have a lot of hotels that aren't open. We have a lot of restaurants that did not make it.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's
Sad.
still, it is. It is.
For sure. I'm assuming there's still a lot of energy and effort behind trying to solve all that though still, and trying to get back to as close to normal as possible, and it just takes time. I think people underestimate that piece of it, like how long it really takes for a community when it's devastated by a major storm like that to actually feel and even look like it's back to normal, because the news cycle is just so quick nowadays. Like things come and go within weeks and months.
Yeah.
But like an effect like that, it's literally years to be able to even have that.
It will be years.
That reality again.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like when it first happened, I'm going to speak for me and like some of my friends and my clients. We felt like the city itself, the municipal, was working against us. They were our enemy. It took a while for them to get acclimated to figure out what it is, because it was a first for all of us.
Sure.
So we all had to kind of work together, and now I feel the municipals are working with us. We all want the same goals. My neighborhood alone, we have 20 plus homes that have been demoed. We got 5 that are being lifted right now. I know another 10 that are going to be lifted. So the whole dynamics is changing too, because, now the old Florida charm is kind of, being integrated with new construction.
Yeah.
Where before we never had any new construction in Pinellas County. We had no land.
Right.
Unless you tore it down,
right.
You had, new construction.
And you would see that in certain pockets. I used to run the Snell Isle community magazine out there. And so in that neighborhood, this is years before the storms, but you would see just older houses torn down and then brand new huge houses built still next to like an older shack, right?
Yep.
And it was kind of weird how that would be the layout as you drive through Brightwaters and see like how Snell Isle was laid out. But I think you're right, in many of the pockets of Pinellas that really wasn't the case. It was pretty much all, older property in certain pockets
that were renovated, and so they were nice and updated and stuff, but they were still the original footprint. Right. So now it's in the next 3 years, it's going to be interesting, because you're going to see a lot of new construction. Yeah. Even hotels. Yeah. That are being demolished. Yeah. Next to the ones that have that old Florida charm.
Yeah, we've had Jeffrey Beggins here on the show, and he's got a newer hotel project out there. Something the Maker.
Probably in Treasure Island.
I think it's Madeira Beach.
Oh, in Madeira Beach.
If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure it's Madeira Beach, and he's going to be the Beach Maker, I believe it's called. But it's a hotel project out there as well that he was promoting at the time. But I know he was pretty actively involved in a lot of the St. Pete Beach scene during that whole storm, actually doing Facebook reels, driving down Gulf Boulevard while all the chaos was still going on and everything. Have you found that it's been, there's still talk from the outside of like how, whenever there's a tragedy like that, investors sometimes flock to try to take advantage of discounted prices and everything. Has that been experience? Are you working with investors at all in that type of world, in that type of business model?
I am. I have a triplex that got flooded. Upstairs did not, but downstairs did, in Sunset Beach and Treasure Island. So a lot of investors are, looking at that because it's still a damaged home. And then you have investors on one that's already put back together that wasn't, damaged, and they're still lowballing, and, you just ignore them. Yeah, I hear you. Because they're trying to, they're trying to get, a deal, and I get that, but really the deals, in my opinion, are the ones still that are damaged. Sure. Yeah, and there's still probably a decent amount of that's available. In your business over the last 12 months, has it been a little bit of a split between the investor buyer versus your traditional, mom and pop buyer, or if you found that your client base has pretty much stayed the same? No, definitely the split. And also last year I talked a lot of people out of selling because they were traumatized. Yeah. And they just wanted to leave. Right. It's an emotional decision. Yeah. An emotional decision. So I talked more people out of listing last year than my entire career. Wow. And I'm kind of glad I did, because most of them now have stayed and they're so happy. Yeah. So, it also you just don't shows like who you are and your character. Cause I mean, it's easy for an agent to say, yeah, you should just list with me. Let's just get rid of it, right? Versus, is it really in the best interest of the person? So I applaud you for that. It shows what you're really in it for, which is the best interest for the client and the community as a whole. I had 3 neighbors knock on my door, and I'm just sitting here thinking, one did end up, tearing it down and they're selling the land. The other two ended up staying and renovating their home and their back end.
Yeah.
And those are the three, it just makes me feel good that, because I keep on saying we just got to get through it, and we will, but we're all, we had so many unknowns. And of course the substantially damaged letter was threatening.
Right.
It was, here, you got 5 options and none of them are fun.
Right. Totally.
So it was, but yeah, so it was a mix last year, getting a lot better this year.
Do you do anything to like market your neighborhood and your territory as far as farming campaigns and things of that nature, or has it been kind of organic just in how that's grown?
Organic.
It has been.
Organic.
Yeah.
I want to. I have intentions. Last year, of course, my whole world was changed, so I didn't. Thought about doing it this year, but you know what? I'm really involved in my community, so I haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it could be something that you end up shooting at some point, but it doesn't seem like you have to either. Right. So it's worked for you to not and just lean on the relationships and let it grow from there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of being a realtor? What do you appreciate most about it?
I think getting what my client wants. Like right now I'm working with a buyer and they are tickled to death what we've negotiated, and the negotiating is fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And making it to that they're just so excited and they're having the great experience, right? Because most of the time, we're in a problem-solving industry,
sure.
So it's not fun, So I think it's the negotiating and making sure that they have a great experience.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the other side? What's the most challenging piece of it in your experience?
The other side.
Dealing with the problems?
Dealing with the problems or an inexperienced agent. I think that's probably my biggest heartache.
Yeah. We hear that a lot.
Yeah. And I hate to say it because I don't want to badmouth anyone by any means.
It's all good.
But most of the time, it's an agent that's not doing their job or they don't know how to do their job. And that's my number one complaint.
Well, honestly, it's part of the reason why we even have our platform, right? Is to try to provide some more education for the agent community at large to not only educate them on how to be better at their role, but hopefully inspire them to become a top producer, which requires a certain level of professionalism, right? To be able to get there. And that's one of the reasons why we do like the monthly panels at Whiskey Cake that we've run for the last few years, and a lot of our online stuff now. It's really all tied into that as a mission. So obviously, as one of the top producers already in the market, you're one of those that other people should inspire to be like when it comes to operating their business. So that's why you're here.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. And communication. And I think that's where it really falls, is just if they do their job and communicate, it actually, even if it's a bad communication, it's still good.
Totally. That is the biggest thing we also hear too, is like once the communication breaks down, it really makes everything that much harder. And you have to be a good communicator if you're going to be a quality agent. And that means dealing with the positive conversations and the negative conversations. Absolutely. It just means you can't be an avoider.
Yeah. Cannot be an avoider. And also you want to talk about the elephant in the room. I always say that in my listing presentations, and or if it's going to be a hard phone call, you still have to have them.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a relationship.
Absolutely.
And I tell them, we're in a business relationship, and so we have to have that communication. We have to talk on a regular basis, which is for me at least once or a couple times a week.
Right. We don't have to like each other, but we have to we both have the same goal here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's get to the end here, and maybe we'll never work with each other again. Maybe we will, but ultimately we're in this together. I love that. No. So I know we have to make sure we're out on time. I want to give a couple minutes of on the personal side for people who don't know you that well yet.
Right.
So family, married, kids. What's your story there as far as your family impact local?
No, moved here single and still looking for that.
Single and mingling, huh?
Single and mingling.
Good for you. Did you ever have kids?
Nope.
Never.
I didn't.
Okay.
I have 2 that I claim.
Okay.
So
nice. Family?
No,
or just
they're not.
Good friends?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's been a fun journey with them.
What do you do for fun? I know boating you mentioned, and tennis. Is that where it keeps a lot of your time?
Yeah, it does. It does. And the new St. Pete Athletic, I'm going to give them a little plug, pickleball place. They just opened up. So I haven't gone into there. We're going there tonight. And
you play too?
I'll play pickleball.
Is this your first time playing, or have you done it?
No, I played a little pickleball. I mean, I love tennis. I tell people my body loves my body loves pickleball, but my mind loves tennis. So I love tennis.
Well, as a tennis fan, I'm sure you'll love pickleball too. It's very similar, obviously. It has its differences, but I'm sure you'll be great at it. They just opened up a new pickleball place where I live up on 54 and up in Land O'Lakes. Land O'Lakes, so right on the major 54 route there. I forget what it's called now, but there's I know Rob lives up there too. There's a huge pickleball place that they just built. That's like this massive industrial building that they turned into. At least part of it is turned into a pickleball competitive arena. So it's supposed to be pretty big.
This one has like a restaurant and workout area. Like it's a whole little country club. So I'm excited about that place just because of the social part, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I love sports.
Yeah, so it is a little bit easier, I think, to play than the physical aspect of tennis. It's a little bit more demanding, I think, in the tennis world.
It is.
All right, couple rapid fire questions.
What's that?
Do you have a favorite book, author, seminar that you feel like has ever made a big impact on you personally or professionally?
Oh gosh. I just lost his name. Oh my gosh. Yes and no. Right now, I'm watching some people on TikTok that I absolutely love.
Okay.
Jay Shetty, which I don't, he's just, and of course, Gary Vee, who could you not watch, right?
Pretty good brands.
Two really good brands. Tony Robinson, of course, you follow and stuff like that. And then I'm about to start reading a couple books, but this is my first time to read that author, so I don't remember them. But,
okay. No worries. Yeah. Absolutely. We try to get a little best list of recommended resources for our crowds, right?
Yep.
Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Oh my gosh. Well, Landman, hello. Who's not watching Landman?
That's a hot thing right now. I see a lot of different online chatter about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably my favorite one right now.
Okay.
And and Doc. Got to watch Doc.
You're a Doc fan?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, good. So you get to know a little bit more about Stacy's motivations here. Okay.
Well, on the spot here. Phew.
All right, I'll keep it simple. This is actually not simple, but I think it's a good way to end.
Okay.
I call it our legacy question, right?
Okay.
So I think it's important for all of us, no matter what we're doing, to have some perspective on what's most important to us. And so when that day comes, hopefully many years from now, and you're sitting on that rocking chair and thinking about what you'd want to be most remembered for, right? What matters most to you? What are some thoughts that come to mind that you'd want to be in terms of your legacy?
Giving, kind, always there for that person.
I love it.
I would say.
I think those are good qualities for a realtor, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
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 Kind of important.
Kind of important. Yeah. Yeah. As a resource. And I love that. I love it when people come to me. Even if I don't know it, if I don't know it, I tell them, please keep coming because I want to find out the answer.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What did you do before being a realtor? Did you have a different career?
I did. I was in corporate for 22 years.
Okay.
So it was outdoor sales, selling.
So still sales, but this was kind of your first role into being a 1099 self-professional?
Oh, no. I've been 100% commission since I was 23 years old.
Oh, wow. So this was not old hat for you.
Corporate was a W-2, but it was 100% commission.
Got it.
So I've been 100% commission since I was 23 years old.
So your sales in the blood.
That's all I know.
I love that. Me too, actually. I've been selling, used to be Cutco knives back when I was 19 years old. It's a totally different story, but it was all 1099 based. Did you really? Yes. They'll last forever, my friend.
Yep.
It's a good investment.
I'm loaded up for my clients. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get you out of here, and we always like to end with a challenge to the audience. If somebody wanted to pick your brain, though, more, Stacy, about how you have connected with your community, the fact that you were kind of front and center through a tragedy in many ways and dealing with the client experience with the flooding. You never know when somebody has to deal with something. They might want to pick your brain a little bit on your experiences. What's the best way for someone to reach you?
Well, I'm a real estate agent, so you can just Google me and you'll find me everywhere.
That's Stacy Allen, no E, Stacy.
Oh yeah, you'll find me everywhere. I don't hide, and then they can call me, on my cell number.
Cool.
So.
And you'll find that. We'll post it in the description as well.
Yeah.
For that. So. Way we always end our episode is with a challenge to the audience to take action on at least one thing that you might have heard us talk about today in this episode. And that way you'll capture the value of actually taking the time to listen to this episode, whether you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook or listening in on the 15 plus podcast platforms we have. Just take action on one thing. Maybe it's one of the book recommendations that Stacy said. Maybe you're somebody who that you have dealt with a tragedy in your community as well, and you can maybe pick someone like Stacy's brain on some of the things that she's seen and been able to do to not only deal with it herself personally, but also help her clients be able to get to that next level. Maybe there's something about her approach to the community that you'd want it to be able to implement into your own business that you've been struggling with for some reason. Maybe you just want to talk about pickleball, right? Whatever it might be. But what's one thing, right? Pick an action step that can move forward and build some momentum in your personal and professional professional career. And if you do that, by the way, it could just be subscribing to our podcast. So click the little button below. That way you'll be notified every time we drop a new episode, which is weekly, with our Top Producers Nation podcast. Lastly, you can see that at topproducersnation.com. See our online community, different online resources, coaching programs designed to help you become a top producer in your desired market. So follow us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. We'll see you later.